Hey YouTube, it's GM Hall here, and we're playing RPGs. Today, we're going to talk about player character death and why you should do it. Do it now! Get to the chopper! Kill your characters! Bad Arnold impersonations. They're my favorite. Anyway, as you can see, I got the rules up for OSE Classic Fantasy. And under hit points, it says very specifically, when a character is harmed, their current hit point total is reduced. If this number reaches 0, the character is dead. Exclamation point. Emphasizing the fact that this is a rule you do not mess with, okay? This is as essential to a game of old school essentials, and I would even dare say Dungeons and Dragons, as rolling your dice out in the open. Cormac McCarthy once said, if it doesn't concern life and death, it's not interesting. Cormac McCarthy is a great writer. He understood story, the philosophy of story. We are playing a story-driven game, a collaborative story-driven game. If death isn't on the table, it isn't interesting. Sure, you can futz about with role-playing for a long time. You can pretend like you're playing a game. But if death isn't a constant threat to your game, the players will not take it seriously. Frankly, you as a GM might have difficulty taking it seriously. So that's the first rule. The second rule, we actually have to watch the game, this clip of the game where a character actually dies, to truly understand the essence of death in the OSE. So let's jump into the game, shall we? Okay, so I have the game set up here, and I just want to let you know before we continue on that there are spoilers in this particular episode. We are playing through In the Shadow of Tower Silveraxe. If you ever plan on playing through that, especially as a player, I would recommend not watching this episode, okay? Or really any episode, because I only show actual footage of my games. Anyway, so we have here in the module, this is room 12 of the Mount Kozengi Ruins, an early level dungeon, that there is a trap right here at this door. And the module states that as soon as someone opens it, they will be hit by 2 darts for 1d4 damage. No save, no nothing. Let's see what happens. All right, so you're in the room. We are going to go into the next turn. We are now 2 turns deep into this dungeon crawl session. And what are we going to do?
I'm just going to walk over here and he's going to listen to the door. I'm going to go with, I think 5. You know what? I'm going with 6.
Give them the big numbers.
Oh, damn. Should have stuck with the 5.
That's mean.
Should have stayed with the 5.
Agator's going to listen at the other door. He's got pretty good listening. He gets 2 numbers. He's going to do that. So, let's say a 5 or a 6. Woo!
Nice.
Good job.
All right, you hear nothing on both doors. Sorry, guys. Nothing in there.
All right, eeny, meeny, miny, mo.
Manoram taps his head just like in his picture. He's like, I know which way to go.
And
He's
which
gonna
way
come
is that?
He's going to come over here. And he's going to open the door.
All right. 2 dart fire out at you. I need you to roll a d4 damage check.
3. Oh, is he dead? I think he is. Yeah, he's dead.
Oh, no.
My God.
As he opens the door, 2 little pinholes, they're like nail holes in the door, shoot out, and one hits him right in the throat, and another one just gets him right in the eye, and he just slumps over dead.
Oh, my God.
Manoram, we hardly knew ye.
Oma is just torn up. She's like, this is just too much loss. She's having a really hard time with this.
Beyond Manoram, in the room, there are clay pots.
Maybe she's not so upset.
Yeah.
All right. Loot his body. Because it definitely didn't get disintegrated by the slime.
Right.
Minotaur's gonna undress him.
Starting
He's
with
not
the
wearing-
pants.
He's not
Starting
wearing
with the
he's not wearing much clothes anyway.
Let's start with the pants.
I love it. He had a bunch of gold on him as well.
First, let's give a moment of silence to our dead mage Manoram. And now, let's give it up to Galio for responding to his character's death with grace and humor. Two things that I hope your players always respond to their character's death with. But I want to show you there, interesting doesn't always mean fun or happy. In fact, in this case, interesting means a limbic or emotional response to something that happens in the game. And what you see, not necessarily from the character who's playing Manoram, but from the rest of this group, horror and disgust, shock, and maybe even despair. Oma, who is a cleric in this game, played by Heather, can't seem to bear another death. After all, she just watched someone get melted by a green slime. She saw someone almost get crushed by rocks. Another hireling got their throat ripped out by rats. And now one of the player characters does in fact die. A critical character, the mage, dies from a pretty random trap. But you see, as soon as I mention treasure, the whole tone changes, because here's the second rule of death in at least Old School Essentials: death rewards the other characters. So what you have is actually a situation like the Running Man, or even Squid Games as a more modern example, but that's basically the essence of these dungeons. You go into it and you might lose characters, but the other characters gain from that loss. So it's actually profitable for characters to go down if you're walking in with a big party. Trust me when I say you've got to kill your characters. This is GM B Hall. We're playing RPGs, and keep it rolling, baby.